Hello, Happy New Year. Happy New Year 2024. I've been saying Happy New Year since last year when when it's the beginning of the year. I think it makes so much more sense other than Happy New Year. But I also like to mess with language in that way because I think it's fun. Hello, and Happy New Year to you. Um, Someone I auditioned for said that part of the reason they cast me, and it wasn't even for the role I auditioned for, it's for something else. Um, they said part of it was because of my YouTube channel, and I was like, oh, well, it's very good that I have one then. And I admit to not um, putting as much focus on it for sure, um, for reasons. But I thought we would catch up a little bit, and maybe I can be more better about it this year. So, catching up. This is my end of my year numbers for auditions or castings to auditions. So out of 319 auditions starting last year in about May, I acquired, I think it's more than this, but we'll go with 12. 12 roles, which is a booking rate of 3.76, which is considered like what it should be. I don't like should, but Um, so a 3% booking rate is common, I guess I'll say. And no, not all of it was for money. And no, not much of it was for much money. So, um, and these are the kinds of things that people will have discussions with you about, right? Like, do you do anything for free? I think when you're starting out, the answer is yes. And part of that is because some of the stuff you do for free are fucking great. So, for instance, Learning Ally, I think is a good cause. So, it's a company that has folks read books to folks or for folks who can't read or who are learning to read or who have learning disabilities or for any of the reasons that the person has trouble reading. I think that's a perfectly excellent reason to do something for free. I have been cast in Once Upon a Wasteland, which I think is correct to say it's a fan fiction. Um, Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, but some school of thought will say don't put fan fiction on your resume. I think in some cases, yes, I'm putting Once Upon a Wasteland on my resume. It's a program that's been going for 3 years, excuse me, and has won awards and is a great show. So why wouldn't I put that on my resume? That's silly. So be judicious. Know that you can take stuff off your, like let's say your resume is filling up and some of it's not as good as the new stuff that's coming up. You just rotate it. It's fine. Um, there's some stuff that I won't put on my resume because in the end, the final product was garbage and I don't need people to know about that. So you just have to be judicious and put forward your best foot, your best voice. Um, One of the best paying ones is one I just did, and I got $45 for a half an hour of session time. And it was really fun, which is really what I'm going for. My goal here, and I think I've said it before, but what I want is full time pay for part time work and having the most fun I possibly can. That's my goal. In addition to being of service to the community, doing what I do here, helping people with the ways in which they stand in their own way and try to get some perspective shifts going so they can not do that. Which again is a lot, regardless of whatever entrepreneurial pursuit you have going, the work is not that. The work is this work. The work is the how do you not stand in your own way nonsense. How do you bridge the gap in confidence? How do you move forward even if you don't feel confident? I hear fake it till you make it, and I don't like fake it till you make it. Because how long do you fake it for? And then how do you know when you've made it? And once you've made it, how long does it take for you to shuck the faking? That becomes a habit. It's saying create a bad habit. So it's just not, it's not fake it till you make it. It's be afraid and do it anyway. right? It's bring what you have to the table. This is also where being able to identify and lean on your redeeming qualities, the things about you that have redeeming value that you can bring to the table. Because you know, and I know that not everything about everything is just about that one thing, right? I'm not just bringing my voice to voice acting. I'm bringing all my experience to voice acting. I'm bringing not only my acting experience and my filmmaking experience and my stage work. I bring my work with kids. I bring my work with helping special ed students glean a different perspective on their life. And sometimes Gen Pop kids too. But it's about bringing everything you are and everything you have and all the gifts that you possess to the thing that you're trying to do so that you can be of service to the people you're bringing it to. It's not just, I'm here to make noise with my voice. And it ought not to be like that for anything that we're doing, right? We're not doing this to get stuff from the other people. That's sort of innate in the process, but that's not why we do it. So some other things I've learned this year or relearned. I have learned recently that my commercial demo is garbage. So that's fun. A total redo is $3,000, which I do not have. I feel frustrated that it's even a conversation because my demos are not that old and should not be getting that kind of response. So, and I have had a couple of problems with the company that I did this work through, my schooling and demo production now. It's been almost a year and there's been some issues. So I guess my advice to you on that is if you're planning on taking classes or doing work with paying money to learn, do some research about who you're thinking about and talk to people. And it hasn't been a total wash, but there are some big elements to it that are not up to snuff. And for the money I paid, that's not okay. So that's my advice to you. Do better than I did. And there's lots of people. And it's expensive. Let's be real. It's expensive. So do what you can when you can. Always keep moving forward. There's tons of stuff that's free too online. There's a ton of, voice actors and voiceover talent that have YouTube channels that are teaching you how to do stuff, tech, all of it. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of any, maybe don't take advantage of any free thing. Still do some scouting. Because that's one of the other things I've learned, regardless of what we want to be true, not everybody in the VO community has integrity. Let's just put it like that. As is the case in the theatrical community, as is in the case in the culinary community. So these experiences that I have had across the board in my life regarding school has been a very large portion of the people involved do not have integrity. And that is a really unfortunate truth. So I beg of you, please don't be one of them. Please deal with your shit. Please move forward with integrity. Be able to identify when you can't, and then just take a break. I'm realizing right now there's not enough light on this right now. Sorry, I'm a little grainy. I apologize. Have I had fun? Yes. Have I had some good conversations with people? Yes. I haven't actually met any of these people. So one thing I'm trying to accomplish is, my goal is to get into VO Atlanta, which is a really big voiceover conference. It's happening in March. My goal is to get into VO Atlanta at the lowest cost possible. So by that I mean I've been trying to get in as a volunteer, and I don't know how that got. Seems like the wires got crossed or something, but so that hasn't manifested as such. But there was another opportunity just when I was thinking about giving up. Another opportunity to get a scholarship showed up, so I applied for that. So here's the thing. The minute I knew that I was going, or the minute I knew it existed, I should say, and that I wanted to go, was last summer. Literally, like going to the airport. My cousin who lives in Atlanta was driving us, and I was like, "Hey, if I did this, can I come stay with you?" And they were like, "Yeah, absolutely." So we've already set aside that. The minute I started my job, I took those days off work, and I started applying to volunteer. So from a standpoint of manifestation, I think it looks really good. And even if this doesn't play out, maybe there's still another way. And then maybe I just won't go, and that's fine too. Or maybe I'll come into some money and I'll suck it up and buy a ticket. I mean, anything could happen, right? So that's also a really good attitude to have in general. Like getting the role that I got that wasn't the role that I auditioned for. And that individual seems interested in my work and said so. So that's good, right? To be a person with an integrity and confidence in your communication with people because they remember that and they want to work with you. Remember, people wanting to work with you is a good thing. And being of service to those people, making their life better and easier because you're involved, is a good way to look at it. The thing I struggle with is regarding the people without integrity or perceived. The question is, do you say something? And I can't answer that question. I say something, and then not necessarily a great response. There's just been a few things that I've been like, hey, this isn't cool with me, and I'm gonna say it was old white man energy that came back at me, that I deemed dogmatic. So that's another thing. There's a lot of dogma in the world, but there's dogma in voice acting also, which is to say that you're gonna have your group of people who believe that voice acting looks like the social conditioning box, right? It's like this, it's always been like this, it will only ever be like this, it's nothing but this. Anything outside of this is wrong. So we all know that that's not true. Things change, language changes, technology changes, trends change. So, I mean, you can do that. I'm not telling you if that's who you are, then do that. But don't, it's not the only way, is all I'm saying. It's not the only way. And thank goodness for it. That's not fun. I don't like that. Another thing I have to contend with is we have to move again because the people we're renting from are selling. And that is coming up soon. So we've known for a minute that it was going to happen. We thought they were going to let us do month to month at the end of February, and they are not. So that's super fun, but it's also good practice for being receptive, playing the mystery, right? Instead of being like, what's going to happen? Being like, what's going to happen? And I just have to play it like it's going to be all good. Move with inspired action, do due diligence, but not freak out. Because we've been through this so many times already. And I've done better about freaking out less every time. So the goal is to not freak out. And that's it. I think. Be good to yourself, love yourself, operate from that place at all times. And I will do better about talking at you this year. Okay.